Have you ever felt like something was off in your relationship, but you just couldn't put your finger on it? Maybe she says all the right things, but deep down you sense a distance, a lack of true commitment. What if I told you that ancient wisdom from over 2,000 years ago could reveal the hidden signs of disloyalty and teach you how to navigate love with unshakable confidence? Before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. And stay till the end, because this guide could completely change the way you see love and relationships. Now, let's step back in time and learn from one of history's greatest minds, Marcus Aurelius, as we uncover the 10 Stoic Truths about loyalty, relationships, and the hidden signs she's not truly committed to you. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just a Roman emperor. He was a philosopher, a man who lived by principles of self-control, discipline, and emotional mastery. His reflections, written in meditations, weren't meant for the world to see. They were personal notes to himself, reminders of how to live with wisdom, strength, and integrity. Now you might be wondering, what does an emperor from ancient Rome know about modern relationships? And the answer? More than you think. Because human nature hasn't changed. Attraction, loyalty, and betrayal existed then just as they do now. In his writings, Marcus Aurelius often spoke about truth, deception, and control over emotions, principles that apply directly to recognizing whether someone is truly loyal to you or simply keeping you around for convenience. So let's break it down. The 10 Marcus Aurelius inspired truths about loyalty and the 11 hidden signs that she's not truly committed to you. 1. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself wondering, am I doing enough for her? You're constantly trying to be the perfect boyfriend. You make plans, send sweet messages, surprise her with little things. But deep down, you feel like something is off. She doesn't appreciate it. She doesn't reciprocate. Instead, she keeps testing your patience, your limits, almost like she's waiting to see how far she can push before you break. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and think about your love life. Do you ever feel like you're chasing her approval instead of being the man you were meant to be? Because that's where most men make the biggest mistake. You should never argue about what a good man is. You should just be one. This is one of Marcus Aurelius' most powerful lessons. It means you don't convince someone of your worth, you embody it. If a woman is truly loyal, she will recognize your strength without you begging for it. But if she keeps testing you, if she keeps treating you like an option instead of a priority, that's a sign she doesn't respect you. And without respect, there is no loyalty. So here's the hard truth: the more you chase validation, the easier you are to betray. Now let me ask you something personal. Have you ever been in a relationship where you gave everything, your time, your effort, your love, only to feel like it was never enough? Like no matter how much you tried, she always seemed distant, distracted, uninterested. That's because deep down, she knew you weren't setting the standard. She knew she could test your boundaries and get away with it. A disloyal woman doesn't leave all at once. She slowly erodes your confidence bit by bit, until you feel like you need her approval just to feel whole. But that ends today. Because Marcus Aurelius teaches us that the strongest men don't beg for loyalty, they naturally command it. So here's my challenge to you: stop chasing. Stop over-explaining. Stop proving yourself to someone who isn't proving themselves to you. If she's testing you, walk away. If she's playing games, don't play along. A good man doesn't need to argue about what he is. He simply is. 2. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Tell me, have you ever sat up at night overthinking everything? You check your phone, no message. You replay conversations in your head, trying to figure out what went wrong. You see her online, but she's not responding. You feel that sinking feeling in your chest. And the worst part? You can't control it. You can't force her to be loyal. You can't make her love you the way you love her. And that's the hardest pill to swallow. But this is where Marcus Aurelius gives us one of his most powerful teachings. You have power over your mind, not outside events. That means you can't control her actions, but you can control your reaction. So let me ask you, are you spending more time chasing her than improving yourself? A woman who isn't loyal will always find ways to make you feel uncertain. One day she's all over you, sweet, affectionate, making you feel like you're her world. The next day she's cold, distant, acting like she barely knows you. You start questioning yourself. Did I do something wrong? Should I try harder? But listen carefully, this is how manipulation works. A loyal woman won't have you doubting where you stand. She won't make you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. So here's what you need to do. Take your power back. Instead of worrying about her every move, focus on your own. Is she being distant? Don't chase. Is she playing games? Don't engage. Is she testing your patience? Show her that you're not a man who tolerates disrespect. Because the moment you stop reacting to her games, you regain your strength. And here's the best part: when a woman sees that you aren't controlled by her actions, she respects you more, or she leaves. Either way, you win, because a strong man doesn't waste time trying to control others. He controls himself. So tell me, are you ready to take your power back? 3. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Have you ever been betrayed? Maybe she cheated. Maybe she lied. Maybe she promised you forever, only to walk away without a second thought. And I know that kind of pain sticks with you. It makes you question everything. And worst of all, it makes you want revenge. You want her to regret it. You want her to feel the same pain she put you through. You want her to see you winning without her. But here's the problem: the moment you try to get even, you're still letting her control you. That's why Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In other words, the best revenge is to move on with strength and dignity. Think about it. If she hurt you, why would you waste another second of your energy on her? A woman who betrays you expects you to be broken. She expects you to beg, to stalk her social media, to spiral into self-destruction. That's how she keeps power over you even when she's gone. But when you walk away with strength, when you level up, when you become the best version of yourself without her, that's when you truly win. Because here's the truth: a woman who betrays you will always come back to check if she still has control. She texts you months later. She watches your stories. She finds excuses to pop back into your life. And when she sees that you don't care anymore, that's when she truly loses. Because nothing haunts a disloyal woman more than a man who didn't let her break him. So if she hurt you, let me tell you this: you don't need to hurt her back. You don't need to get revenge. You just need to win at life. And that, my friend, is the greatest revenge of all. So let me ask you, are you ready to walk away with power? If you're still here, it means you're serious about taking control of your love life. 4. What stands in the way becomes the way. Think about the hardest moment you faced in a relationship. Maybe she pulled away when you needed her most. Maybe she wasn't there when you were struggling. And instead of offering support, she seemed distant, like she was already halfway out the door. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. How did that moment shape you? Did it make you more insecure? Did it leave you questioning your worth? Or did it make you stronger? Marcus Aurelius taught that the obstacles in our lives aren't meant to stop us, they are meant to shape us. This applies to love, too. When someone is loyal, you don't have to question where you stand. They stand beside you in the hardest times. But a woman who isn't truly loyal, she sees difficulty as an excuse to walk away. Here's a truth most men don't want to hear. Loyalty isn't proven when things are easy. It's proven when things get hard. Now, let me ask you, have you ever been in a situation where you thought she would stay, but the moment life threw you a curveball, she disappeared? Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you were dealing with stress, depression, or family problems, and instead of holding your hand through it, she became cold, distant, uninterested. That's a sign. A woman who only loves you when you're thriving isn't truly loyal. She's only in love with the benefits that come with you. Marcus Aurelius would tell you this: if her absence is an obstacle, then that obstacle is showing you the truth. So instead of seeing it as a loss, see it as a revelation. Because now you know she was never meant to stand beside you in the first place. And here's the best part: when the wrong person leaves, the right one can finally arrive. So let me ask you, is the woman in your life proving her loyalty when it matters most? Or is she showing you that she was never truly in it for you? If you have to question it, you already have your answer. 5. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars. And see yourself running with them. Now, let's step back for a second. Close your eyes. Think about the happiest moment you've ever had with someone you loved. Maybe it was a deep conversation at midnight, a road trip with music blasting, or the way she looked at you when she thought you weren't watching. Love is beautiful, but only when it's real. Marcus Aurelius teaches us to focus on the beauty in life, but here's the thing. If you have to force beauty in a relationship, it's not real beauty. So let's talk about something that most men ignore. Does she appreciate you? Because if she doesn't, it doesn't matter. How much effort you put in, she will never see you the way you deserve to be seen. Now, tell me, have you ever done something thoughtful for a woman, only for her to brush it off like it was nothing? You planned a special date and she barely said thank you. You went out of your way to help her and she acted like she expected it. You showed her how much you cared and she didn't even notice. That's not love. A truly loyal woman doesn't take your kindness for granted. She sees your effort and she reciprocates it. But a woman who isn't truly loyal, she takes and takes until there's nothing left to give. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, dwell on the beauty of life. And if your relationship doesn't feel beautiful, maybe it's because it isn't. So here's the truth: you deserve someone who appreciates you. Someone who says thank you. Someone who notices the little things. Someone who makes you feel like your presence is a gift, not an expectation. And if she isn't that person, then maybe it's time to ask yourself, is this really love or is it just convenience? Because real love, it never leaves you questioning your worth. 6. Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. Let's get real. Have you ever been in a relationship that left you broken? A relationship where you gave your all, only to walk away feeling like you weren't good enough? Maybe she betrayed you. Maybe she played mind games. Maybe she made you feel so small that you started to believe love would never work out for you. Now tell me, how often do you still think about it? Do you still check her social media? Do you still wonder if she's happier without you? Do you still feel that sting of rejection, even when you try to move on? That's the injury. But here's the truth: she's not the one hurting you anymore. You are. Marcus Aurelius teaches us this powerful lesson. The pain you feel is real, but the suffering is optional. Because if you keep replaying the hurt, if you keep feeding the pain, if you keep looking back, you are the one holding yourself captive. So here's my challenge for you: let go. Not for her. Not to prove a point. Not to get even. Let go because your future is too important to be tied to someone who didn't see your worth. Because the moment you stop carrying the pain, it disappears. And here's the best part: you don't need revenge. You don't need closure. You don't need an apology. You just need to decide that the past no longer defines you. So tell me, are you ready to let go of the pain and step into the man you were meant to be? Because the second you do, you win. If you've made it this far, you're serious about taking control of your love life. 7. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Let me ask you something. Have you ever ignored your gut feeling in a relationship? You saw the red flags. You noticed the way she acted differently when certain people were around. Maybe she was too secretive with her phone. Maybe she started getting distant. Or maybe she was always just one excuse away from avoiding you. Deep down, you knew something was wrong. But instead of walking away, you convinced yourself that it was all in your head. You told yourself that if you just loved her harder, if you just gave her more space, if you just became the perfect boyfriend, she would change. But she didn't, did she? Because here's the truth: your intuition was right all along. Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. And that applies to love, too. If something in your relationship doesn't feel right, stop justifying it. If her words don't match her actions, stop making excuses. If she makes you feel like you're the problem for asking for basic respect, stop apologizing. Because the moment you start lying to yourself, you become easy to manipulate. Now, let's get personal for a second. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you caught her lying, but you forgave her anyway? Maybe she said it was just a friend. Maybe she made you feel like you were crazy for even questioning her. And because you didn't want to lose her, you let it slide. But here's the thing, if you have to convince yourself that something is okay, it's not okay. A loyal woman won't make you question her honesty. She won't give you reasons to doubt her. And if she does, then maybe she's not the one you're meant to build your life with. So the next time your gut tells you something, listen to it. Because the truth is, you already know the answer, you just have to be strong enough to act on it. 8. You could leave life? Right now, let that determine what you do and say and think. Let me ask you something that might hit deep if today was your last day. Would you be happy with the way you lived? Would you be proud of the way you handled your relationships? Would you look back and say, I was true to myself. I never settled. I didn't waste my time on people who didn't deserve me. Or would you have regrets? Regrets about the love you gave to someone who never valued it. Regrets about staying in a relationship where you weren't respected. Regrets about wasting years trying to fix something that was never meant to be saved. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that life is short. You could leave life right now, and while that sounds harsh, it's actually one of the most powerful lessons you can learn. Because if your time is limited, why waste it on someone who doesn't truly love you? Now, think back to a time when you felt truly alive. Maybe it was when you were single, focused on yourself, working on your goals. Maybe it was when you were surrounded by people who genuinely cared about you. Compare that feeling to how you feel when you're with her. If you feel drained, anxious, or like you're constantly walking on eggshells, what does that tell you? Because the truth is, love should add to your life, not take away from it. If you're constantly worried about whether she's being faithful, if you're always questioning whether she actually loves you, if you're spending more time feeling stressed than feeling happy, then maybe she's not the right one for you. So here's my challenge to you: start living like your time is valuable. Because the moment you realize you don't have forever, you stop tolerating half-hearted love. You stop settling for women who don't appreciate you. You stop wasting time on people who don't see your worth. And when you do that, that's when you finally start living. 9. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Have you ever been so angry that it completely took over your mind? Maybe she betrayed you. Maybe she lied straight to your face. Maybe she walked away like you meant nothing to her after everything you did for her. And in that moment, all you could think about was getting even. You wanted to show her what she lost. You wanted her to feel the pain she put you through. You wanted to do anything that would make her regret her choices. But let me ask you something: who is that anger really hurting? Marcus Aurelius said, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" What does that mean? It means that the pain of betrayal is temporary, but if you let anger control you, the damage you do to yourself lasts forever. Now, I want you to think about a time when you let anger take over. Maybe you sent a text you regretted. Maybe you lashed out, hoping to make her feel something. Maybe you made a decision that ended up hurting you more than it hurt her. And what did you get out of it? Did it make her change? Did it fix the relationship? Or did it just make you look weak? Because here's the harsh truth: a man who is controlled by his emotions is easy to manipulate. And a woman who isn't loyal? She knows that. She knows how to push your buttons. She knows how to make you react. And every time you lose control, you give her more power over you. But you know what she won't expect? Silence, indifference, walking away like she never existed. Because when you refuse to let anger control you, when you don't give her the reaction she's looking for, you take back your power. So the next time you feel that anger rising inside you, Remember this: the best revenge isn't rage, it's self-control. Because a strong man doesn't let betrayal break him, he lets it build him. If you've made it this far, that means you're serious about taking control of your love life. 10. The best revenge is to be unlike the one who performed the injury. Let me ask you something: have you ever wanted revenge? Maybe she betrayed you. Maybe she made you feel worthless. Maybe she acted like you were replaceable, and now all you can think about is making her regret it. You want her to see you thriving. You want her to realize that she lost something valuable. You want her to feel the pain she put you through. But here's the thing: revenge is a trap. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike the one who performed the injury." That means instead of stooping to her level, instead of wasting your time plotting how to get back at her, instead of turning bitter, you rise above it. Now, let me ask you, what would hurt her more? Seeing you broken, stuck in the past, constantly trying to prove your worth? Or seeing you completely unbothered? Because the truth is, nothing unsettles a disloyal woman more than a man who doesn't care anymore. If she cheated, if she played mind games, if she walked away like you were nothing good, let her go. Because the second you stop chasing, the second you stop reacting, the second you start focusing on yourself, that's when you truly win. So what should you do instead? Improve yourself. Hit the gym. Build your wealth. Become the kind of man that another woman would be proud to stand beside. Because the best revenge? It's not making her miss you. It's making her realize she never truly mattered to you. And when that happens, you'll finally be free. So tell me, are you ready to stop wasting energy on someone who never deserved you? Because the second you do, your life will change forever. 11. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Now, let's get real. Have you ever tried to prove your worth to a woman? Maybe you felt like you had to convince her that you were good enough. Maybe you bent over backward trying to be the perfect boyfriend. You forgave things you shouldn't have. You put up with behavior that disrespected you. You lowered your standards just to keep her around. But what did that get you? Did it make her love you more? Or did it just make her lose respect for you? Because here's the truth: if a woman doesn't see your value from the start, nothing you do will change that. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That means stop explaining yourself. Stop begging for appreciation. Stop trying to prove to a woman that you're worthy of her loyalty. Instead, just be the man you're meant to be. Focus on your goals. Build your character. Become someone so strong, so confident, so disciplined that the right woman naturally respects you. Because a loyal woman, she won't need to be convinced to value you. She sees your worth without you having to say a word. But a woman who isn't loyal, she make you feel like you have to fight for her love. And let me tell you something: love that has to be begged for isn't love at all. So here's my challenge to you. Stop chasing. Stop convincing. Stop explaining. Instead, start becoming. Because when you step into the man you were always meant to be, the right woman will recognize it instantly. And the wrong woman? She fall away on her own. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop wasting time on people who don't see your worth? Because the moment you do, you'll finally find someone who does. If you made it this far, that means you're serious about becoming the best version of yourself. Loyalty isn't about words, it's about consistent actions. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that we must be strong, wise, and discerning in love. If she's showing multiple signs of disloyalty, don't try to change her. Walk away and invest in yourself. If you found value in this, like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you know. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.